Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Wake Up Show with myself and Alex. How is everyone feeling out of 10? We're going to get some lo-fi going here. I
Out
forgot
of
to get.
10,
How you
I'd say
feeling
I'm
out
a
of 10?
5.
Let me turn this down. There we go. A 5 out of 10. Okay. I'll take it.
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome to the Wake Up Show with me and Alex. If this is your first time, we do the morning news and analysis and hot takes. All right, so the
That's
top story. Trump announces the strategic reserve not only for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also he says a U.S. crypto reserve will evaluate a critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the presidential working group to move forward on the crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, ADA. I will make sure the U.S. crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. What's your thoughts on that, Alex?
what do I say? So I always try to maintain a balanced perspective. This makes it much more real to me because I've always been like, all right, Bitcoin strategic reserve, that sounds great. When's it going to actually happen? The fact that Trump tweeted not only for Bitcoin but for Ethereum, XRP, Solana, etc., that certainly makes me bullish. I mean, the United States acquiring positions in those makes me bullish. We overreacted yesterday on a highly illiquid day, and we had a phenomenal weekly close. So I'm happy about the weekly close for Bitcoin. And we're just it's not going to be straight up as we're seeing today. Not going to be straight rockets to the moon, but this is certainly bullish.
Yes. To me, it's like, man, it's the puppet master. It's the apex predators. It's the. By the way, I want to correct myself too on when we were live on Friday. I kept referring to the 200 moving average, but what I was actually referring to was the 200 exponential moving average, not the daily. And that was we wicked slightly below the 200 exponential, and it's just like if the spring needs to happen, it needs to happen within the 7 days. I wasn't predicting that this was going to just come out of nowhere. This is the first green narrative news that we've had since Trump has taken office. Every weekend has been terrible
Yeah.
the whole time. But Alex can attest privately. I was bullish and I was not willing to move off of the spring theory. 93K.
Yeah, that looks good. It looks like it's playing itself out. I mean, Bitcoin's at 90,000. It's dipped this morning, but there's definitely a lot more confidence in the potential of closing above 93K within the next 6 days or so.
Yeah,
Um,
6 days.
yeah, I will say I'm really tired of this stuff happening on weekends. It's really frustrating me. And all right, you know what? I know a lot of you are gonna probably just be like, screw you, Alex, when I say this, but every weekend, if Bitcoin pumps, I open a short, and if Bitcoin dumps, I open a long. And so Bitcoin pumped on Saturday, I opened a short, and that has been a good scalping technique for me because of CME futures on weekends. And so guess who had a short opened on Bitcoin yesterday during yesterday morning during the morning when the announcement was made. So I was pretty frustrated about that because Trump is messing with that strategy. Like, a few weeks ago, I was long because Bitcoin dumped over the weekend, and then the tariffs were announced and whatever. I'm not going to cry too much. Small loss, but time to move on.
I think it's a big deal. I
Yeah.
don't think that this is, and everyone, I'll say one more thing about this before we move on is like, everyone keeps asking me as far as like in regards to altcoin season. They're like, I see Bitcoin. Where's the money coming from for altcoins? Like, where is it coming from, Ski?
The United
Well,
States.
apparently the United States government.
Yeah.
and every institution, just like we have been talking about. So there you go. I was not predicting that XRP, Solana, ADA were going to be on the list.
That's for sure.
Right off the rip, I definitely did not have that on my bingo card, but I'll take it. All right, Peter Schiff. He flips to being a bull. I get the rationale for Bitcoin reserves. I don't agree with it, but I get it. We have a gold reserve. Bitcoin is digital gold, which is better than analog gold. So let's create a Bitcoin reserve too. But what's the rationale for XRP reserve? Why the hell would we need that? So now he's an XRP bear, and he's a full on Bitcoin bull.
I don't believe that. All right, so he says Bitcoin is digital gold. You know, he's built quite a platform for himself by being the world's #1 Bitcoin hater. I'm throwing a little. Let's chill out in saying that Peter Schiff has flipped. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he hates other cryptocurrencies more than he hates Bitcoin. But my 2 cents.
Yeah, my 2 cents is I don't think he's actually a Bitcoin bear. I think it's what you were kind of alluding to
Yeah.
is like he makes a full-time living by being a Bitcoin bear. And I'm sure he does very well for himself just by rallying up the Bitcoin maxis. I think that at this point, there's no way he doesn't understand Bitcoin. There's no way that he doesn't know what it is. And he's that stubborn. I think it's a case of he makes a living by doing this, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes.
All right. Binance will delist 9 stable coins, including USDT and DAI in Europe on March 31st to comply with MiCA regulations while still allowing custody and conversions.
Okay.
My God.
I could waste time talking about this and talking about, oh, that's bearish or it's bullish. Sorry, Devin, I just don't care. I do not care about this at all. So
we do not care.
What?
We do not care.
All right, we both.
I agree. I don't care either. It's much ado about nothing. Just decided I'd put it in there for the Bears with the Bulls to, you guys can debate about this in the comments, whether this is bearish or bullish. I don't really care either. All right. It's time for everybody's favorite game. Bull or bear?
Bull or bear? Let's do it.
All right. Will we see a true altcoin season in 2025? Bull or bear, Alex?
You know, Cliff on TikTok said that somebody hacked my account because I'm a bull. Well, I'm sorry, Cliff. Here we go. Bear. Sorry, bear. True alt season. So what do we mean by true alt season? We mean 2021 levels of altcoin euphoria or 2018 levels of altcoin euphoria. I am a bear. If we're going to talk about that, I do not believe that that's going to happen in 2025. I'm sorry. So here we go. Throw the hate my way. Again, the reasons why. All right, I could see Bitcoin dominance going down to lower 50s. Let's say 50% Bitcoin dominance. That would be a significant move for altcoins. Significant move for altcoins where you make good gains, good returns. If we're talking about Bitcoin dominance in this economic environment going down to 40%, count me out. I'll dance the dance. I'll follow the market. I will get in and out of different positions, but I do not believe that we're going to 40% Bitcoin dominance in 2025.
All right. I'm going to say that I'm a bull. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be 2018 alt season, 2021 or 2017 alt season, 2021. I don't know about that, but I do think that most, especially, ADA, and the Solana ecosystem, the Ethereum ecosystem, the XRP ecosystem. If you're talking about a lot of the blue chips, if you're asking me, can they 3 to 5x and strongly outperform Bitcoin? I would say yes. I'm an absolute bull on that, and I do think it will happen in 2025, especially with the bombshell that was just dropped. If the United States is buying, they didn't even talk about how much they're going to buy. But if they're buying Ethereum, if they're buying Solana, if they're buying ADA, we know how that works when Solana goes up. Rising tides floats all ships. So yeah, I do think that there's going to be a strong performance by the altcoins, and I think that it's strongly going to outperform Bitcoin.
Keep
Now, is
pouring
it
on the haterade, all you commenters. I see your comments. Keep going. Keep going. Go ahead, Devin.
is it I don't know if we're going to 100x from here, but I think that it's going to outperform Bitcoin, and I could see us going into the lower, even higher 40s. That is my prediction.
All right.
Bull or bear? Holding spot is better than leverage trading. Alex, bull or bear?
I mean, I'm bullish on that statement. I don't know what to say, bull or bear. I just yes, 100%. Holding spot is better than leverage. I mean, guys, I do some leverage. Okay, I am very hesitant to do anything more than 2x. All right, so and even then, it's like I had I mean, if you shorted Cardano over the weekend with very low leverage, there was a chance you got liquidated, and that money's gone. If you just hold spot, or if you want to, if you think the market's going to go down and you want to do a 1x short or 2x short, sure, but by far holding spot's better than leverage.
Yes. I would argue that 99% of people are going to, their portfolio is going to have way better gains just by holding spot and finding their fundamental coins and buying in, DCAing, and DCAing out. So yes, I'm a strong bull on this statement that spot is way better than leverage. Leverage, liquor, and ladies, three things that are a lot of fun, but any of them can tip the scales and mess up any good man. So there you go.
There we go.
All right. Overrated, underrated. Bitcoin scarcity, overrated, underrated.
Underrated, big time. Underrated.
Yeah.
You think about what happened after the spot gold ETFs launched in the mid aughts. We saw increased mining happening all over the world because of significant demand for gold. Well, there's one thing that you can't do as demand increases with Bitcoin. You cannot mine more Bitcoin. It is programmed in to be mined 3.125 Bitcoin per block, and that's and then that's going to be cut in half. So anyway,
criminally,
yes,
like
very
the magnitude of what normal people can even understand. I don't think it's even in the same neighborhood of what your average Joe understands how scarce and verifiably scarce it is. Like gold is scarce. Gold is a resource that we know and love, and we know that it's scarce. But does Fort Knox have their gold? I don't know. We'll see. But we know how much everyone else has of Bitcoin, and we can verify that on the blockchain. We know exactly how much they have, how much they're buying, how much they're selling, how much is left. We don't know how much gold is left. And I'm a fan of gold. I don't get it twisted. I'm a fan of gold, but Bitcoin, in my opinion, is the most scarce asset on Earth, and it's not particularly close.
Yes.
All right, overrated, underrated. The effects on the environment that mining has.
Okay, you probably know a lot more about this than I do because you actually mine cryptocurrencies. I have any time that I see an article from wherever CNN or something, if you're gonna base it off of those articles, I would say very much that that's an overrated statement that mining is so bad for the environment. But I will defer to your expertise on this, Devin.
I'm going to say overrated. I think it's 70% of miners are on renewable resources, mostly solar. There's a lot of push towards nuclear, and they're creating new ways to extract power, like the waste gas from a landfill, and you're seeing all kinds of things like that. And is it because the miners are these tree huggers and they love the environment so much? No, it's because free market capitalism forces innovation. And if your biggest expense is power, you are incentivized to get that expense paid for indefinitely. So 70% is on renewable energy. And, the funny thing is, like, I know lots of people who are anti mining because it uses so much power. But guess what? They're pro. They're pro AI. which uses way more power. Like the computational power that is required from that uses just as much, if not more. So yes, this is extremely, extremely overrated. I think Bitcoin mining uses less than Visa. Uses less than AI, and 70% is on renewable energy. And I think that that number is going to continue to go up. Again, not because people are tree huggers and they just love the environment and it's because free market capitalism forces innovation. The biggest expense for a miner is power. If you can get that done where you're in the green, whether you're in a bear market or in a bull market.
Let's go.
All right, DeFi, overrated, underrated.
I'm gonna say underrated, and just we're still early. We're still figuring it out. I'm assuming it's going to look a lot different than as it evolves, but I think there's a lot of potential with DeFi for sure. So
Yeah, I think it's criminally underrated. What the regular average Joe has access, the tools that they have access to, which, just 10 years ago would have costed you millions of dollars of capital to have these type of tools at your fingertips. You can now access for $10, $20. And yeah, I don't think enough people utilize it. But I think it's a criminally underrated tool that is available to everybody, which is amazing. All right, it's time for charts.
okay, I guess I'll go first. So we have Bitcoin. Let me actually go to the weekly chart. I'm blown away by yesterday. It's unbelievable. The chances that we would have closed the weekly candle range bound were so unbelievably small. If you asked me yesterday morning that whether or not I thought that Bitcoin would close above the bottom of its range that it's been in for the last 100+ days, I would have said, less than a 1 in 1,000 chance, because the weekend, it's the weekend. It's we have the CME futures gap. We have the place that if Trump did not intervene, that the price would have been around $85,000, and yet we closed the week yesterday above 93,000, and now potentially we're forming a new wick. My target is 91.8. You would see that on my Bitcoin USD chart here. So we're at 90.4 right now, but we have another week to figure things out. As far as and so what that means as far as like the definition of where we are is that we are still in the range. Amazing. And we did talk about Wyckoff. I'm assuming Devin going to talk about Wyckoff and in the spring and the hypothesis that was playing itself out for sure. Big time. This is looking like a spring. And that's very exciting to me because, there was lots of, in my mind yesterday morning, and I was watching a live stream of somebody whose opinion I really respect. I was mentally preparing for a move up to $91,000 or so, and then looking for opportunities to open shorts. I just strategically, logically, I felt like that was the best play. Now everything's flipped on its head, and it looks like, from a dollars and cents perspective, it makes more sense too long than too short. We'll see how that plays itself out. Another thing that I'm looking at here on the daily chart is I drew a fib from swing high to swing low, and really interesting to see what happened yesterday. We got right up to the 786. That, in my opinion, is the line in the sand, the last point of resistance. We got there within a few dollars. Exactly $95,000 is the 786 fib. So in my head, I know, Devin, we talked about $93,000. So $93,000 this week. Here's the difference. $95,000 is a key level for me because it's the last line of resistance. But the difference between 93 and 95 is we don't have to break through 95 this week. We can at any point we break through 95, we see some daily closes and a weekly close above 95, then I would say with a great deal of certainty that was the spring, and this is looking like a V-shaped recovery. So that's my number, 95. One other thing that I'm looking at, and then I'll take it to you or throw it to you, Devin, is the total altcoin market cap, total two. We broke through a downtrend, and right now we're fighting close today above the trend line. We did close yesterday, fighting to hold the 200-day. So when I talk about the 200-day, by the way, I'm talking about the 200-day simple moving average. Devin's talking about the EMA, but the 200-day simple moving average, it would be great at least to close today above the 200-day SMA. But the big thing that I'm paying attention to is a break of the trend line. And then as far as my stable coins are concerned, I think that we're going to back test the trend line a couple of times. And so maybe at the 236, or maybe just, if you were looking to get in right now, I would prefer to wait for a confirmed wick, that this is a wick or some kind of a back test, and maybe around the 236 retrace here from these levels that I've drawn, that would be a good entry. So we're right now at 1.14 trillion on the total two. I'm hoping for a breakthrough and a back test that would be maybe still around 1.14 trillion or 1.15. A lot of altcoin charts look like they've broken through these downtrends. So that's another reason to be hopeful at the very least for short-term gains, but hopefully for bigger gains, for bigger returns than that, where these would move on to new highs. Floor is yours, Devin.
All right, so I'm very encouraged, and you can see this blue. This is the 200 EMA. I kept calling this the 200. This is the 200 EMA, so I was misspeaking on that. But that's what I was saying is we wicked below it, but the daily it was right on there. This definitely looks like a fake out to me, and the spring is confirmed. And the funny thing is, you say 95 is the key level to get into the next leg higher. I would agree with that as well, because that would put us in full bullish posture again. And maybe it's so crazy how quickly it happens.
Yeah.
And Alex can attest, after we got off our live stream, public or privately, I was trying to hold faith publicly as well, and say I was way more bullish on the altcoins and all this and that. But even privately, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just not willing to move off of it until the time is elapsed, because these ways, they just have a way of just working themselves out. Now, I didn't predict that this was going to happen, but it's definitely looking good. I would say what we're going to experience now, this is a big violent move. I don't anticipate two big violent moves in a row. That's not what I'm anticipating. I would anticipate more of a worry waddle of people just having uncertainty of is that really it? Is it really the spring? Is it really a V bottom? Are we sure? Maybe just kind of chopping and ranging a little bit higher. So we might worry waddle into 92, and we might worry waddle into 93 and 94 until we get above the key level of about 95. And that would sort of break the downtrend for Bitcoin. I'm super encouraged for the total two. The total three looks even way better. And what I've been saying is I think the total three is going to make between now and May a minimum of a 50% move to the upside. ADA did that yesterday by itself. You know what I mean? So that definitely is looking true. I think that we have gotten a lot of checks for the spring, Wyckoff spring reaccumulation V bottom. Now, the next thing that I want to see is us hold 92, 93-ish $1,000. That doesn't mean we can't. If we go to 89, oh my God, it's over. It's just relatively, we want to be chopping around that range, about basically where we're at right now, in the next week or so, and sort of hold this as a confirmation of a spring out of here. And then I would like to see, over the next few weeks, us to get above 95,000 to really start to confirm that. But yeah, very pleased. I'm very happy. I didn't think that, I wasn't anticipating the bombshell to drop, but man, these things just have a way of working themselves out. I've just seen it one too many times,
Yeah, I'm trying to think through comparisons to what this is from the past. And I mean, the biggest thing that sticks out is in 2021, when it was just announced one day that Tesla had bought $1.2 billion of Bitcoin. And so that was huge. That was a huge catalyst for the bull run, for euphoria, for us to reach euphoria in 2021. Is this that catalyst? I mean, I see a comment here. What about another Trump announcement today? We'll see. I was curious to see how the market would react, because I did see that from an announcement that Trump is going to make some kind of announcement today about some kind of financial investment. And I was, I was curious to see where the market was going to go after that announcement was made, thinking, afraid that it was going to be like a lot of buying pressure, buy the rumor, and then he makes some random announcement that has nothing to do with anything, and then it's a big sell off after that. But as soon as the stock market opened today, we had a bit of a sell off, and so maybe not, no buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. But I mean, the big thing from yesterday that really just kind of it hit me was the executive order aspect of it. That really was okay. So he's gonna, this isn't getting pushed through Congress. He's gonna try to do it in an executive order. I mean, we'll see. But if that ends up being the thing that happens, and then all of a sudden the United States, with its unlimited printing capabilities, is buying all those assets, I mean, that could very well be the catalyst to send this to new heights. Now, I mean, and somebody asked last week, don't we need a catalyst? We need some kind of catalyst. And I mean, we don't entirely need a catalyst, but it's always nice to have one. And here we go. So,
well, just like we talked about, it's like the catalysts, they have a way of showing up. Right when you need them, like right when you're at the key levels where you need a big move, they have a way of just showing up. I don't know who's the puppet master, or is it the apex predator, or is it I don't know what it is, but they have a way of showing up right at the most convenient times, and during the burning of the midnight oil, so to speak.
Yeah.
I was
Sorry, I saw a question about the DX. So DXY 106. I mean, it's still, that's bullish for crypto. It just, it looks like it's peaked. It looks like it's in a downtrend. It's continually putting in lower lows. Another thing that's bullish. Yeah. I'm seeing, I see a question over and over again on TikTok. Do you think, okay, Mackie, I'm going to answer your question. Do you think M2 money supply increasing in QE potentially in the next few months will lead to all season in 2025? All right. As crazy as it would be for us to get QE is probably going to come after some kind of economic crisis. Okay. So there would be a lot of fear before QE. Now, M2 money supply does look very promising, and it is increasing. So that's something to be bullish on. What about the Doge dividends? We'll see about that. If that ends up happening, that would be pretty wild. So
to me, it's like, no, you don't need it. We literally don't need it. If they're going to buy ADA, Solana, Ethereum, XRP, we absolutely do not need it. That is more than enough. And all of the ecosystems from Solana, from Ethereum, from XRP, from ADA, guess what? They're going to benefit from it too. Rising tides floats all ships. So yeah, is it going to be nice? Have we had bull runs with QE? We sure have, but we've had them without it. And I don't think if that's really going to happen, and it's going to be executive order, I don't think that it's necessary.
Yeah. Excuse me. Man, I can't get over this. I'm like 95%, but not 100%, and it's driving me crazy. So,
what other coins do you both think he will announce for the reserve? Chainlink, AVAX?
I could see Chainlink. I don't know about AVAX. What do you think?
But I would be more of a believer of Chainlink being put on that list. I'm not mad at AVAX. I don't think that it's like, oh, I'm not going to scoff at you if you say AVAX, you know what I mean? But I could see VeChain. I could see Chainlink. I could see Quant. Any of those like ISO coins. I think I wouldn't be mad at XLM.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless in reality.
Would
And
that?
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I mean, we had that would. This is different. I'm just all right. Thinking out loud, processing things. We had the spot Bitcoin ETF, super bullish for Bitcoin. We had the spot Ethereum ETF, not super bullish, mostly because it was just an opportunity for Grayscale to unload their Ethereum. But we started moving net positive, and so then I was thinking, okay, well, what if any other ETF, at least short term, wouldn't be all that bullish for the crypto. And so I was trying to relate that to the strategic reserve for lots of different cryptos, and then there was a part of me that's just kind of trying to think like, is it good? And I think, but the answer to this question is yes, or maybe not. I just don't know. Is it good that the United States would diversify a ton to the point where they would have 50 different cryptocurrencies, or would it be better for it to be concentrated into a few cryptocurrencies? That's just I just don't know the answer to that.
Okay, so I think if we were to think about this, like, what have they done in the past? And what do I mean by that is we had sort of a similar thing with the, I don't know, was it the big three or the big five with the automotive? There was all these different manufacturers, and then the governments picked their winners, and that's who won. And everybody else kind of died off. And I think maybe we see something similar. Maybe it's only 10. Maybe they have 10 winners. Maybe they have 5. Right now they have what, 5? I don't know. I'm open-minded, but I do think that this is a pretty classic move, if you will, like the government's picking the winners.
Yeah. I mean, really, I would have been ecstatic yesterday if it was literally just Ethereum was announced, because it's like in 2024, 2025, we need Ethereum to run for alt season to come. And so if it was just Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I mean, let's say there was a pool of money that, all right, it's all one pool and this is it, and it's going to all these to 10 different cryptos, I would prefer if it was just in a smaller amount of cryptos versus like 100. So what's the question here?
On the coins that I've picked, does that change your price targets? For me, no, it does not. No news, no narrative will change my price targets. Only the analysis. So for me, ADA is still $6 to $8. Ethereum is still, to this day, going to be 7,000, maybe 10,000. XRP is still $5 to $8. Solana is still $400 to $600. Those are still all my targets, and that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm 100% on the same page with that.
I think if you move your price targets and you move your strategy based off of news, you could be very dangerously a bag holder long term, and that's sort of like we're going to get the most bullish news possible that no one expected at the absolute top.
Yep. And that's designed to get you to not sell, because I mean, obviously it's not, we're going higher. I'm thinking through the average retail mindset. Obviously it's going to go higher from now. I mean, look, such and such happened. And that I think that's by design to get you to not sell.
Right. Drain liquidity.
What are you looking at?
I was looking at this one, but I didn't. The bounce after Trump's tweet also seems like a bull run. Market makers found a way to drain liquidity retail much better than before by creating short-term fake hype. I would argue it's the opposite. Like, how much retail is still in this game after the last pullback that we had to 78,000? Most of retail left, in my opinion. Sentiment. I mean, 2 days ago, sentiment on Twitter. Like, don't dare go on Twitter. You know what I mean? If you're a bull, don't dare go on Twitter.
Yeah. I would argue, all right, the bounce after Trump's tweet is weak. We saw a $10,000 movement in the price of Bitcoin yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
In what world is that weak?
Yeah. I mean, it's the second highest that we've ever had. You could argue
Yeah.
that the Tesla that really kicked off the altcoin season, you could argue that that was a higher percentage move, but not much. It's the same. It's a little bit higher of a percentage move. We went from like, what was it, like 40 to 50K overnight. So going from 80 to 90K. So yeah, this is one of the largest moves that Bitcoin has ever seen in a single day.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is the sixth largest asset in the world. This idea that it's just going to 100x, I don't know about that. I don't think that we're going to have crazy numbers on Bitcoin anymore. You should compare it more to Amazon or Apple or gold or silver.
Yeah. Now, listen. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say this again. I made a video before going live. Devin and I, we have our different perspectives. Somebody last week, I answered a question. I made a video. Somebody asked if it's over, and a lot of people were saying it was over. And my response to that was, it's too early to call. I do not believe it's over. In that video, I presented the possibility of this being the spring moment in a Wyckoff reaccumulation chart, and now sentiment has shifted significantly, and I'm going to say, now's the question is, are we back? And my answer might be different than Devin's. I still saying it's too early to call. We both mentioned the $93,000 price target. I would say I lean towards, yes, that was the spring, and we are we back, or were we ever gone? Yeah, that's my bias right now. But there are scenarios in my head to where filling perhaps, or whatever, this was just to get us to one last pump so we could be the exit liquidity. I'm always open to those abilities. Okay. We're personally just going to wait and see. The big thing that I will say is there's a switch that has been made looking at the charts, where up until last week, I was mostly shorting. I was doing longs, I was doing shorts, but I was mostly shorting. This week, looking at the charts, in my opinion, it makes sense to mostly long. So,
anyway. So I'm in the camp we never left.
Yeah.
Alex can testify privately. When no cameras on, no nothing, I was still bullish, and I was like, I'm not willing to move off the spring just yet. But I'm in the camp that we never left. But I also don't think that we have been fully confirmed either.
Yeah.
I think that we are in the right directions. We have lots of signs, but what I want to see is a continuation and, waddling our way up, holding 92, 93, 95. I agree with Alex, puts us back into like, we're here.
Yeah.
So I'm not willing to say that, I was in the camp that we never left, but also, we need a little bit more confirmation as well to really kick this thing off and have a continuation. Because ultimately, like if you're going to be a bear right now, you could say that this is the 618 or the 702 retracement, and we're going to roll over. I don't see that happening, but if you're going to be a bear, that's the bear thing to say. Ultimately, the altcoins are at their bear market lows. Either way, I'm bullish on everything. I think that I lean very strong towards this is what we've been waiting for. These are the signs. The charts are looking very bullish, but I want to see a little bit more confirmation out of Bitcoin.
100% agreed.
Says we are all retail. I agree. Estimate of when the top, the most bullish thing ever is going to be the top. Me and Alex will probably both be bullish at the top.
Oh yeah, I say that over and over again. I will be a bull on the day of the peak.
Yep.
The question is, how long after the peak will my bias flip? In December, it was about a week, and actually the same for November of 2021. So we'll see. That's always my aim, is within about a week that I would flip my bias.
Yeah. So I sold most of my crypto in 2021 around the 50K mark.
Yeah.
That's when I sold most of my crypto. So I didn't get the absolute top, but I got a pretty good percentage of it. I would say the average of like a 2.618 is where I got, which is my goal anyways. Can the next FOMC meeting be the start of a bull run if he cuts interest rates? I don't think he's going to cut interest rates. What are your thoughts on that, Alex?
I mean, we can look that up. CME Fed Watch tool. It's a really simple. They're never wrong, you know. And last I checked, it was like a 99% chance that they were not going to cut rates next time. It doesn't make sense for them to unemployment stabling off and showing some health and inflation being pretty hot. You know, if anything, not that they would raise rates, in more likelihood that they would raise rates, but if Powell, I would say the most likely thing that I would want to rates if it was between raising and cutting. But 93% chance that they're going to keep it where they are at the meeting. And then, you know, we can even see from May here what that is. I mean, it's a 66.8% chance that in the May Fed meeting, they're going to keep it at where it is right now. So,
This, by the way, what you just mentioned, like a little bit off topic, but adjacent, is why I'm against options trading.
What's that?
Rather than futures, because in order to succeed as an options trader for the stock market, right, you have to not only be correct if it's going up or down, you have to be correct about that, but you have to be more correct than what the market anticipates the volatility is going to be. And what you mentioned, they're always right. Like inherently over a long enough period of time, you are not going to know things that the market doesn't know, which is why I'm against options trading versus futures trading.
I can be opposed to
that's
leaps.
a little bit off topic, but leaps are different than like 30 days and 90 days and stuff like that. Yeah. Because you have to be more correct than the market, and the market is always right. What about memes? Listen, I don't know if you know this or not, but Solana was on the list. Rising tides float all ships. So there you go. Like if the government is buying Solana, rising tides floats all ships. That is all you need to know. Or yes, so yeah, memes are. Yeah, the narrative was memes are dead. Couldn't disagree more.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Solana, very bullish for Solana. I mean, I did think, didn't we mention this on Friday? Like some of these meme coin charts are looking pretty good.
Yes.
And they're putting in some bullish structure and increasing volume. You know, I'm looking at PopCat right now. It's not like it's gone parabolic or anything, but like volume has increased, and it certainly bottomed out. It's putting in some higher lows, so I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Fartcoin, forgive me, but Fartcoin looks pretty similar. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Solonic and he had a nice pump over the weekend as well. So
yeah,
sure.
No, that was the narrative, and what I would call like, you know, retail talk that you know, that just it was from the Libra. Like we were agreeing that was terrible news. It wasn't awesome, but you know, the narrative was like memes are dead forever, and it's just like I don't think you understand the core of what crypto is. There's a huge percentage of it that is just, you know, people are gambling.
Yeah, we certainly overreacted. It was needed, because what happened after the Trump coin launched was this mindset, and I got sucked into a little bit. I need to put thousands of dollars into a crypto as soon as I hear that it launches, into one of these like the Trump coin or Melania coin or Jail Stool or the Libra coin. And I need to dump thousands of dollars into this, and within hours sell it all with the hopes of doubling or tripling or even more than that my money. And that was terrible. That was a terrible shift in retail sentiment, and Libra killed that, and I'm thankful for that. So now we're back to let's find some of these cryptos that, yes, they are meme coins, but they're gonna be more of a hold than this. All right, launch, buy, sell, exit
Yeah.
nonsense.
I
So
have no interest in buying memes that are brand new.
yeah,
If they're not 6 months old, minimum, I have zero interest. None. What happened to the price prediction over 100K in February? Well, I was wrong. There you go. But the structural move of what I'm looking for, listen, I'll be honest. Time, not my strength. And I would say a weakness of mine is seeing things painfully in advance. It's happened to me, I don't know, at least publicly. I've seen a move. I've called it out. And I've even bailed on it because it took too long to play out, and then it finally plays out. That's happened to me more than a number of times. So my weakness is seeing things painfully in advance, but my strength is structure, not time. So structurally, we're looking like what I was saying. It just wasn't the right time.
we will be wrong about things.
Yes, I'm not. If you're looking for the Messiah, it is not me. He already came and rose from the dead. It's not me. I put on pants one leg at a time, just like everybody.
What's next?
Time to shave the beard. I will shave the beard if we reach 70,000 before 118,000. That is the beard bet. If Bitcoin goes to 70,000 before 118,000, I will shave my beard. That is the bet. I am a man of my word. I will pay my debts. But it doesn't look like that's happening right now. The other beard bet is Solnick will reach 7.5 cents by the end of the bull market. I will shave my beard if that doesn't happen too. Feeling
All right.
Even more confident about. Honestly, I'm feeling more confident about the Solnick to 7.5 cents than the Bitcoin to 70K. I could see a scenario where Bitcoin goes to 70K. I was sweating a little bit at 78.
Yeah.
All right, bull or bear, Alex? Bitcoin will reach 118 before it reaches 70.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. For your sake, I'll just say bull.
I'm obviously still a bull on that.
All right.
Someone says, why are other altcoins barely moving? I'm down 50% and they are not going anywhere. Well, I don't know what you're holding, but I would suspect that you're holding something with bad tokenomics.
Or just some low cap crypto that really hasn't done much of anything. And so, the other altcoins, why are the other altcoins barely moving? So we saw significant moves in XRP, Solana, Ethereum, and Cardano yesterday. That's what you should be rooting for right now, in my opinion, is for those to just rip like crazy. And then those other altcoins, including the $5 million market cap crypto that you're holding from March of 2024, that'll move. And so be patient.
You still believe in Flux? Absolutely. It's my number one AI coin. Not even particularly close. Someone asked me, someone asked me when just answering two questions here back to back. When can you buy Solnick on Google? That's going to be this month.
Yes.
So
And
March is the month. I don't have the exact date. I've been very busy, but I will find the exact date for you. Cliff, if you're watching, let's inquire about when the exact date is. But He and Solnick are both going to be available on Google this month.
Yeah.
This month.
Very excited about that.
Or 75 cents. Listen, I've said it many times. My low is 7.5. My medium is 75 or $1, and my bull is 5.89. Sooner or later, this bull market or the next, all of those will be reached.
Let's go.
Or we're holding blue chips like Render and Link ICP. We're still down 50%. From when? From when is it down? Like from, you know what I mean? Like down from when? Like people like to cherry pick stuff. I don't know. Is ICP down 50%? Because it was making higher lows.
Yeah, ICP is down from it peaked in the 20s or something like that. So I understand that. I mean, that means you bought ICP in 2024 because ICP was smoking hot in in early 2024. So I mean, look at ICP right now. It it is at a level that if I were not live right at this moment, I would be very interested in longing ICP. It looks like it's the bottom has formed, the chop, and then the break through the downtrend, back test of that trend line right now. So that I know that doesn't help for somebody who bought ICP at like $20 or something, but this is not the time to sell. I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think my average price on ICP is $5.
Yeah, I bought a ton of ICP because I watched it all bear market. I was ready to buy it, and I bought a ton as soon as it started. It went down under $3 for a brief period of time, and somewhere between $3 and $5, I bought a lot of ICP, and I have less ICP right now. I mean, guys, if you started buying crypto in 2024, you missed the bear market, and next time around, are you going to have the strength, the mental strength to buy when everything inside of you is screaming not to buy? Because if you look at the ICP chart all time, even under $3, it would have been like, oh man, I don't know. And yet Devin and I bought.
I'm down 30% of my flux. Do you think I will be in profit by May? I think that there's a very good chance that that's going to happen, especially if the spring theory holds true. I think that there's a very, very good chance that that's going to happen. My target for flux is a minimum of $5. So there you go.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I'll say something to what you were just saying. I think that the game, like if you're to figure out the game of cryptocurrency and accumulating and swing trading or even trading, the game is getting your emotions in check.
Yeah.
And having the emotional fortitude to go into the blood, to go into the fire. That is the game. So, yeah. Are you bullish on VeChain?
Let me see VeChain. I would assume so at this time. And I'm sure VeChain had a decent day yesterday. I mean, all right. There's nothing about V at this moment that screams buy to me. Aside from, I mean, the volume's not all that great. It was not one of the ones that Trump announced that they were buying. I don't think that that's going to be a buy, by the United States government. But I see a lot of value in this, and I see it holding certain levels very well. So I would say the risk to reward is very much on your side.
Yeah. That's kind of micro analysis. I don't want to speak for you, but that's very micro analysis,
definitely.
Right? For me, macro, VeChain is one of the stronger buys. It's been holding this higher low trend since 2022, and it's having higher highs since 2022. I'm looking personally for charts like this. I know that they're the official sponsor of, UFC and all of that. So yeah, strong bounce off of this like macro trend line. In my opinion, VeChain is one of the macro better buys at this stage. The risk to reward is insane. I mean, realistically, you're looking at like, let me just give you like, what is the actual reasonable risk that you could anticipate? 25% downside risk. And then your upside, even just to the 0.5, most everything is going to go to the 0.5. You're looking at a 4x. I think you would take that all day.
Only a 4x? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So macro for me, VeChain is one of the better plays right now. Micro is still working itself out.
And I mean, I did a lot of research on VeChain when I made a price target video talking about it. And here's the deal: like, do I want to hold VeChain long term, and never sell it? That's not true for any crypto. that I would ever want to buy. But like the real world use case of VeChain, you can see their numbers that they're just growing. This is a crypto that actually has like legitimate real world usage, and all of their metrics every year are growing. So they're doing what they set out to do with supply chain, bringing supply chain dynamics to the blockchain, and there's evidence of that makes this. If I were to make a list of 5 cryptos that put me in a time machine and I'm still holding these cryptos 10 years from now, VeChain would be on that list.
VeChain would be on my list too. And literally, as you were talking, I was thinking, like, if you twist my arm, I can think of 50 coins that will be here 20 years from now. If you make it even shorter and it's a 20 coin list, I think that VeChain, like
Yes.
when you get out of Bitcoin, XRP, like those coins, like VeChain is in that next tier that I would put with like Link, and all the others. So yeah, I think that VeChain is a strong candidate for a 20-year play.
Yes.
Ski mentioned the SEC lost to the Hex founder. You reckon Hex and the rest of Richard Hart coins will pump now, or will it remain the most doomed ecosystem this cycle?
How about you take that first?
Man, Hex to me, I don't mind the chart on Hex, but the risk to reward, I don't know. It's a risky play. I think it is a risky play just because the sentiment is. I mean, there's nothing like price to change sentiment. If this breaks into price discovery, guess what? The Hexicans will be full force beating their chest, stronger than even the XRP army. In the micro, I don't mind this chart actually. This looks like a micro accumulation. Your sign of strength back test, and then you break out back test again to the 200 EMA. I think that this isn't even a bad micro position. Macro, it's hard to tell with a chart like this. I think what happened, and I've talked about this before, and why I'm weary on a lot of coins like Turbo, for example, is when you have a coin that just shoots up from the very beginning and then it has this gap and it never gets it. I'm very weary on that because it's like you can pass it, and Hex did. Hex passed it all the way throughout, years. It passed it for years, but eventually, guess where it came back to was this gap that it created from the initial launch. So everyone wants a straight line up until you actually get a straight line up, and then you have to fill that out. And I think that that's technically what happened. You could put all the narratives of like, oh, is he a scammer and all this and that, but I think that that's what happened. Micro, I don't mind the chart. There's not a ton of trading down here, but I mean, even if you to pull a micro fib, just getting to the 702, that's 1 cent. And, the parabolic 2618 would be 3.3 cents. I think that's where my expectations would be. I don't know that this thing is going to get to like, a crazy macro. Cents. Yeah. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I don't mind this. It's making higher highs and higher lows right now in the micro, and it's back testing the 200 EMA. We'll see. I think it's a risk. It's a high risk to high reward play is what I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any comment on it. So
yeah, I feel neutral on Hex is what I feel. Like I'm not a Hex hater, and I'm not a I'm not a Hexican either. So I'm just like, we'll see what it does. That's where I would put it at in a nutshell. Someone says, is it time to buy USA coins prior to this FRI summit? Are you a believer in the USA coins?
It makes sense to buy some. I mean, I think that there would be a priority on that before the Friday summit. What's going to happen at the Friday summit? I just haven't done enough research on that to really give any thoughts on that. So, do you know anything about that?
No, it's like a narrative that just like popped up out of nowhere, and the thing that I think I see more of the XRP army using it, and
Mm,
it's because of like you know a maximalist or like elitist. Like I feel like the biggest XRP maxis are kind of elitist, and they think that there's only going to be XRP, and that's just like there's no world where that exists. And if anything, like Trump just like smashed the hammer on the head of that when he included Solana. So it's like you're in the same. Ah, shoot, my XRP or my TikTok. There we go. I had to refresh it. So like XRP is in the same threshold as Solana and ADA, and guess what? That's what I thought of it this whole time. Like I'm not this like elitist where it's like, oh, there's only going to be one and that's going to be it. I don't believe that, and I hear the USA thing a lot from the XRP army, and what they do, in my opinion, or at least from my perspective, is they'll try to discount Bitcoin
yeah.
and say like off Bitcoin because it's not a USA coin. It's like Bitcoin is the coin. So if you're discounting Bitcoin because of the USA narrative, I don't believe in that. But I think that there might be something to it. But I think it's mostly used from the XRP army as sort of an elitist standpoint. That's my thoughts on the USA narrative.
All right. Let's move
Thoughts
on.
on Quan and Sui? I like Quant Sui. I don't mind Sui right here. I've been bearish on Sui for a little while now, for months actually. I've been bearish on Sui since November.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Now, I mean, it is right at the 200 day. Maybe there's some hope there.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's a decent buy now actually.
yeah, and I haven't looked at Quant since last week, but I remember thinking, man, Quant didn't suffer nearly as much as other cryptos last week. You know, when everything dumped, it's just showing a lot of strength, holding certain support levels. Pumped a little bit yesterday, but not a ton. So people who watch my channel, they know that since 2021, I've had these sayings about quant, and looking at this chart, it certainly looks like that's playing itself out. And one of the big things that I say is like quant does what quant does. You know, in 2021, while everything was dumping in the middle of the year, quant was just going on a tear. And it's the same thing right now where it's like it just seems to do its own thing in comparison to the market. So the rest of the market dumped big time last week, and quant was just sitting there holding support. So that gives me some hope for short term that quant's
Yeah,
going to climb.
Quan did a 5x when everything else was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, like right after, I believe it was in between the Luna collapse and the FTX collapse, Quant did a 5x.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
I could pull that up, but I'm pretty sure that. So yeah, like it's even stronger to what you're saying. Like it just does its own thing. Like I think there's more to that than even. Yeah, let me pull up my chart. I got Quant right now. So yeah, so the June, yeah, the Luna collapse, it did a 5x. I believe it was a 5x. It might have been a little bit less than that. 4.5x.
Wow.
And everything was dead. You know how
Yeah.
dead crypto was.
Oh, yeah. And I remember that time. I think it got up to like $144 was the price, maybe a little higher than that. And I just remember that made me a lot more bullish for quant for 2024, 2025 than I should have been, because I mean we haven't even gotten close to that level yet. And that's another thing. It's like there's quant just doing its own thing.
Yeah. It has a weird well, not a weird chart. It just has higher lows and then lower highs. So it's just kind of forming
Yeah.
this wedge. And it needs to, keep working itself out of here. But it's very close again. But yeah, I'm bullish on Quant. I think Quant gets to $700 pretty easily. I mean,
All
it's
right.
pretty low supply.
Yeah. I mean it has zero inflation right now. So
Yeah.
it's good.
So there you go. LCX, please.
LCX was looking pretty strong last week. 20 cents. I mean, I really haven't done much. I haven't really thought about LCX all that much, other than to say I wouldn't be surprised if your chart actually was looking very bullish on LCX, because you zoomed out on your charts a lot more than I do. So
Yeah, LCX to me is at the 236. I think it's a pretty good value right now. I've both flipped multiple times on LCX of like, is it extreme value? Either way, it's been good value for a while. Um,
yeah,
but let me pull it up real quick. It's at 19 cents. Yeah, I think I got the wrong chart here. Yeah, it's just slightly above the 236. So I think it's pretty good value. I think if you can get it below the 19-cent mark, that's where it's extreme value, but it's still really, really good value. I think LCX gets to $1 to $2. I don't mind the chart on LCX at all.
yeah. What else?
Can Ondo hit $3?
I think so.
I think so too. I think both of us have a similar target for Ondo, $3 to
Yeah,
$4.
371 is my initial price target. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it looks very similar to lots of other crypto charts, except it's a newer cryptocurrency, and from what I understand, not amazing tokenomics. But we've both factored that into our targets. I mean, you know, in 2024, for both of us to say around $3 or between $3 and $4, I think a lot of people would have been like, "Why are you so bearish on Ondo?" And now it's like it's a
You did
dollar
that to me.
12. Yeah. Oh yeah. And now the attitude has changed where it's like people are like praying for $3. So and we've just kind of both stuck with our guns as far
Yeah.
as like, yeah, 371.
Someone asked me, "Are you still bullish?" I would say to that, I never stopped being bullish. The only thing I conceded was Bitcoin went deeper than I anticipated, but I kept saying that the altcoins are right where I expect them to be. And I'm very
Yeah.
encouraged by the higher low bottoming structure that was happening.
Yeah. I mean, Total 2 did a double bottom, but Total 3 put in a higher low. I mean, and even Total 2 doing a double bottom, it's just like just revisiting the liquidation wick. Total
Yep.
3, man, I would have loved it if it just went a little bit higher, but I would say definitely, higher low, especially when you factor in the closes. Well, shoot, never mind on that, but definitely the wicks. So I'd say both Total 2 and Total 3. Like I said, all I'm saying right now is up until last week, I was mostly shorting. Starting looking at the charts today, I'm probably mostly going to be long. So that's, I'd say things, whatever happens, whatever happens, whether it's a dead cat bounce or a new all time high in all these altcoins, I think the play right now is to be more long than short. So
Yep. I'm a macro bull and a micro bull right now. That's where I'm at with things.
yeah,
I think that the spring theory is looking very strong. I want to see a little bit from Bitcoin, but ultimately things are looking like I didn't have on my bingo card. And that's one thing that I felt the pressure to move off of the alt season, right? Of like, where's the money coming from? Well, apparently the United States government. So I don't know. Just show me the charts. I'll tell you the news. They just have a way of working themselves out.
all right. Hey, apparently China holding closed door meetings on a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Not surprising, if that's true.
Yeah, it's going to become an arms race. Like realistically, that's what it's going to become.
Yeah,
It's going to be an arms race between these countries. And, I think I risk, me and one of my friends have kind of talked about this is like, man, I have this nagging feeling in my bones. And I don't necessarily think that this is what's going to happen. Let me be clear. I'm about to say something crazy that I'm not predicting. Okay. It's just, I see a possibility for it to happen. So, everyone clear. I'm about to say something crazy that I'm not predicting. I just see a scenario that if there really does get the Bitcoin strategic reserve and there becomes an arms race between different countries of like a new Cold War, a Bitcoin war. World War Bitcoin.
Hey, let's go.
There's a chance that, my God, we are criminally underexposed to Bitcoin. And that is a fear of mine.
Yeah. Listen, I am 100% on board with this idea that there is going to be a day when every one of us will have wished that we just bought Bitcoin. I don't know when that day is, but there will be a day.
All right, Alex. What do you think? This is a good podcast, huh? You ready?
What do
Go
you mean?
ahead.
No, what are you saying?
I was asking if you're ready to wrap things up.
Oh yeah. Well, let me just rapid fire a couple things here.
Okay.
Where do you stand on sell in May and go away now? I would say I stand on that same position.
I'm standing
And
on
again,
business with it.
yeah, and we talked about this on Friday. The even what's probably going to happen. Sure, we could dump in May and have a terrible summer, or we could just chop and be extremely bored. So yes, I stand on that, and I think we're going to go up between now and May. And then the other question, bull or bear on this being the last parabolic alt season before regulation kicking in. We did talk about that already. I think there's always going to be. So I don't think alt season this time in 2025 at least is going to be as crazy as 2021 or 2020 or 2018. But like I am a firm believer that there's always going to be euphoria and despair. That this is what pretty much since the creation of the Federal Reserve, but then it's gotten crazier and crazier. The creation of the Federal Reserve, 1913, key date. 1971, depegging from the US dollar, key date. 2008, introduction of quantitative easing. And every new thing makes things go crazier and crazier. 2020, the great debasement of 2020, which I think is a new norm now, where we're going to have to debase our currencies to extreme levels. That's just going to cause even more insanity. So I do not believe that this is going to be whatever happens, that's going to be it as far as the last parabolic alt season. I believe in a future of extremes. Unfortunately, yeah. I would say.
Yeah, I think the bigger risk is that we're criminally underexposed.
Okay, let's do it. So
what country has the most Bitcoin? I believe it's the United States.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I'll take your word for that.
I think China is number 2 with 190K.
Okay.
World War Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like the Cold War, but with cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Well, we're never going to message you. So don't respond to our messages asking to kindly transfer crypto that will promise to increase. If you see the word kindly in any of our messages, it's not us.
Or how's your trading going? I'm not going to ask you about your trading. I don't care.
I also don't care.
Yeah, we're not going to message you. There's no, I don't have the secret indicator other than the SCI, the ski camping indicator. Every time I go camping, the market rips. That's the only indicator I have, but it's not for sale. All right. That's exclusive only to your boy Ski. All right. We'll never message you. We love you, but we're not going to message you.
That's right.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever everyone is. I'm everywhere. Alex is on YouTube and TikTok and X, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
All right, guys. That's going to be it for this time. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.
Good one.